It's Sunday, August 23rd, 2020, and here's today's balcony garden update. Well, the cherry tomatoes have been a success, especially these orange ones. They've grown really well this year, and this plant is really taking off now. Fortunately, the one here with the red tomatoes, it has produced quite a few, but not as many as in past years that you would expect from a cherry tomato plant. I've picked a lot of them. Well, there's a red one. It's really red. Well, speaking of the tomato plants, here's the progress of the plant that I took to my sister's place. Well, here it is. It's doing quite well. But there's still lots growing. And the plant beside it is growing almost on top of it now. So moving this plant was a very good idea, which were purchased at the same time as my tomato plants, the exact same ones. So you can see what a difference it makes when you plant them in the ground versus on the balcony. You really can't compare. But the balcony garden is still better than no garden at all, if you ask me. I've got these hot peppers. The hot peppers have been amazing this summer. A lot of them have grown really well. I can see this one's changing color here. Now you got this plant here that's also done quite well. Got more peppers coming out of this plant here. Speaking of really hot, these peppers as well are quite hot. This plant continues to bud, so it should get more of those peppers. Now here's an interesting one. Here's a pepper plant that hasn't produced at all this summer. It hasn't looked that healthy either. Finally appears to be showing its first bud. So maybe we'll get a pepper here after all. On the other hand, here's another pepper plant that hasn't done anything either. Can't quite tell. It's still, well, but it gets till the end of the season to see if it produces anything or not. Thought strawberry season was over, but this plant is completely re-budding now. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a second wave of strawberries. No complaints at all. So let's take a look at these mystery plants. We've got this thing that's green with purple stems and kind of some purple leaves. I don't really know what that is. I have this thing growing over here now. Not quite sure what that is either. I have this thing growing over here. I don't know what that is either. This thing here's got a whole bunch of leaves. And the leaves are very similar to the tomato plant leaves, but it doesn't look like a tomato plant. It's just a whole bunch of leaves. I don't know what that is either. The last mystery plant is this thing here that's growing out of the strawberry plant. And right out of the middle is this tall, skinny thing. With this thing growing on top. Now this seems like the nicest Sunday morning of all this year. So as you can see, the balcony garden continues to be a success this summer. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching. See you next week.